Okay. Hello and welcome. What are we calling this now? Do we have a name?
Not really. I've just kind of been calling it the weekly Progress DevRel stream. I know it's in some places it's like AI Fridays, but then sometimes we get on and believe it or not, don't talk about AI. Didn't realize it was possible, but sometimes we manage it. So yeah, I don't know. This is our Friday hangout.
It's our Friday jam. We're gonna do some AI. What do you know?
We should keep the name.
I'm gonna talk a bit about like RAG today. So we actually have a really great product that does RAG. We're gonna build stuff with it. So I figured with Star Trek coming up, we could just do some of my demo prep live on stream. So I'm gonna share my screen. So we could talk a little bit about Star Trek because both of us are going to be there.
Yeah,
both going to be there. I love Star Trek. It's one of my favorite like community conferences.
Yes.
I've been going longer than I care to admit. I think I missed maybe the first one. Like I got in just a little shy of the first Star Trek.
So you were going when Star Trek was actually showing Star Trek movies.
I think I missed the first one, which was the Star Trek movie. And then when they switched to the Marvel Universe, that's when I was going regularly. So I'm happy to be back. I try to go every year just because it's a great event. There's some fantastic people that put it together, like Jeff Blankenberg, Jared Ferris, Carrie Payette. Like they're all just awesome people that are putting this show on, and love to support them by being a speaker or attendee. Doesn't really matter anymore. I just come.
Yeah, no, it really is. This is one that you put me on to when I first started working here, and you were like, "You got to apply to Star Trek." I was like, "Okay," but yeah, I mean, the whole bit is that for anyone who's not familiar with it, you're in a movie theater, which makes for a really fun presentation space because your slides are like massive. And everyone's in like the cozy like layback seats. It's just a lot of fun. And so it's always movie themed. And then they show, usually they do like an early release of like whatever is about to come out. This year there's not like a good flick coming out perfectly timed. So they're going to show a bunch of classic ones, which I'm very excited about. Do you know which one you're going to go to yet? I see you've got the list on screen.
Yeah. So my daughter is 19. She's coming with me. She's getting into the software stuff. So I bought her a attendee ticket, and I told her these are movies that I will age myself by saying this, but I may or may not have seen live in the
when they came
initial
out.
release.
Yeah.
So I told her to pick. I was like, you are getting to pick a movie that you did not have the opportunity to see like in the theater. So you do it, whether it's Ghostbusters or like Back to the Future. Like those are my top favorites, but I told her to pick. They're all good. Except for maybe Galaxy Quest. Not a fan of that one, but that's
what? I'm actually
throw
stunned
shade on
to hear
Galaxy
that.
Quest.
Galaxy? What with
It's
Alan
meh.
Rickman? I'm taken aback. Chat, get after him. That was an insane statement.
I was gonna make the show controversial. It's
that really might have been one of the most controversial things I think you've ever said on the air. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm already locked in. I'm decided. I'm seeing The Matrix. I think that's gonna be amazing on the like
Tim
big
Allen,
screen with the surround sound. And, like, it's one of my favorite films of all time, and so I'm hyped to see it like big screen.
Maybe it's Tim Allen as a spaceman. I don't know. Like
In Galaxy, I mean, he's kind of a loser. It's a bit.
But
I can't.
Yeah,
Galaxy,
I love all these movies though.
It feels like exactly your brand of like stupid humor that I say as someone who mostly shares that sense of humor. Like, it feels very in line with like whatever Blazing Saddles or Idiocracy or like
Iron Sky would have been a good showing for this.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Iron Sky, look it up. By the way, it's probably not safe for work, so I probably shouldn't mention it on stream, but it's not that bad. Mean, it's not like it's
Galaxy Quest is definitely not safe for work. I'm trying to think. I mean,
I'll get off the topic just so I don't get.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. Let's have a conversation.
It's not the greatest movie
what's safe for work or not.
Yeah, to mention in the context of work, so I'll pass that on.
But yeah, go back to what you're talking about at Star Trek.
Great event. So what I thought I would do is do like a meta demo for Star Trek. So the topic I picked for the conference, and I'm gracious that they accepted it, was RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. So what I thought I would do is ingest all of the content from the Star Trek website and then build an app so we can do some work or, some AI around the content from the website, like recommendations and things like that. And yes, confirming I am old. I saw Back to the Future, Back to the Future, and for sure Ghostbusters and Back to the Future I remember seeing in person when those came out. I think Goonies I watched on TV. I think I was a little bit too young when that one came out in the theater, but anyhow, definitely old.
Fuel teaching us all an important lesson on kerning.
Oh yeah, fonts matter heavily.
Fonts matter.
All right, so to get started on this, there are several RAG tools out there. We have one of our own here at Progress, and it is actually a really great tool. I like using. I jumped on the Progress Agentic RAG train as soon as we made the acquisition for it, because I thought it was such a cool technology. And I just finished building out the C# SDK a couple months back, and we'll tinker with that a little bit today. There are, like I said, other RAG technologies. This one I was just griping to you before the show, Catherine, because I have a demo using the OpenAI / Azure version of this technology, and the API is like, I'm trying to figure out how to word this in my slides for the talk because I want to sound impartial, and I do have legit like experience with the OpenAI version of this, and it's just rage inducing. Like, really is the only way I can explain it, because every single time you use it, it changes. So like, I've redone this. I've spent more time rebuilding this single demo than it took me to build the entirety of the SDK for Progress Agentic RAG. Like,
That's
just
crazy.
this one demo has consumed my life. But anyway, the demo that I have for the OpenAI search, this does the same type of idea. Like, you load in documents, they go into a vector database, and then that vector database has a search capability that can pull back chunks of information from the
Can
data
I
that you uploaded. Yeah, go
interrupt
ahead.
real quick?
Jump in.
For folks that are not familiar, what is a vector database?
Right. So I'll try not to get too deep in the weeds because we can burn the entire hour on this. So
new topic
that's
for
what
the
the talk
stream.
is for.
Vector
That's what,
database.
that's
Fair.
what the Star Trek talk is for. Which, by the way, I need to redo my share because it ended up on a tab, not the entire screen. So there we go. Wasn't showing
Coach
what
on
I was
pointing out
trying to show.
a great missed opportunity. They should be showing airplane at Star Trek. Carry on.
Yeah. So when you want to do the reason you want to do a vector search is because a keyword search is okay, but it misses things. So, for example, if you have data in your database that's like groceries, for example, and you want to search for dairy products with a keyword search, you'd have to search for like milk, cheese, butter, the exact dairy product that you want. With a vector search, you can search by meanings. Type in dairy, and you'll get all of those aforementioned things back because they have a similarity to them. So the search for these vector databases is going to search off of semantic similarity. Does it mean the same thing rather than does it include this specific text verbatim inside? Which is a very, very powerful tool with vector search. With Progress Agentic RAG, you actually get both of those combined. So it does keyword search, vector search, and a graph search, and I think there's a fourth one in there somewhere, but it combines all of those searches, like it ranks them with an agent and then gives you the response back. So it's like even more powerful. But the OpenAI file search that I built, it searches on one of my other favorite topics, which is coffee. So
of course.
Yeah. So if you want to search by like meaning, you can come in and say, what is the most expensive? And it's going to pull back the most expensive coffee. And for some reason, it says it can't assist with that request. I don't know why. Let's try that one more time. And because we're streaming, it's going to blow up.
Yeah, that's how it works. I'm not sure I believe this is a demo that you built because not everything is blue and orange. So I'm withholding.
I stole the template. Oh, there it goes. It's going to work now. It's just for no reason. It's going to just start working.
That's how it goes.
So this is a recommendation on so this is another thing that's really interesting about RAG and vector searches. You can do, it's not just a search, but since AI is involved, you can do like product recommendations. So your search doesn't have to be like a specific item, but you can say recommend. You can even misspell it, which is great. So I'm a terrible speller. You can say recommend a coffee with a fruit profile, and it will recommend coffees with a fruit profile. It's Friday. I can't even talk straight. So that's one of the searches that we have. Let's try this one more time. I don't know why the price ranking one isn't working, but it'll also search like on metadata. So let's try it again. What's the most expensive coffee? There it goes. It's working magically now. Yeah. So it's this one here. This is natural process, $9.99 a pound. The Hawaiian Kona coffee is $34.99 a pound. So these are the type of results it gets back without, some additional crazy programming and algorithms to make it happen. It's all kind of part of the large language model capabilities and the vector database embeddings.
So where did you collect all the where'd you collect the coffee data from?
Shh.
Understood.
It's borrowed and anonymized.
That's a secret.
So I did the same thing with, so this would have been a lot harder, by the way, with the OpenAI search, because I would have had to have gone and downloaded the data using an external tool and then re-uploaded it into OpenAI's file search. So with Progress Agentic RAG, what we're going to do,
I'm going to need you to zoom
I won't
in.
show it. Oh, all right. So this is the Progress Agentic RAG page. So if you go to progress.com agentic-rag, I'll put it in the chat for people if you want to just see the top level page for this. You could go there. I'm going to log in. I already have an account and I have a knowledge base set up. So let's log in. Let me know if I need to zoom again. As it darts through these different screens, it'll lose.
Yeah, I'm going to wait and see. I won't. It's a good question, actually, I think, from people asking, right, is RAG still a popular thing? It was all the rage, for a while, but MCPs and skills seem to have kind of superseded, but maybe become
totally
more popular.
Different. Like they're similar. They perform similar functions, but they're different things. So something I'll talk about in my talk as well. It's like what the different uses are for these things. It's a good question though, so I'll actually bring up a resource I've got for the conference on it, so we can kind of put that idea to bed.
I actually just wrote a blog that's similar. It did not include RAG, but it was agents versus MCP servers versus AI assistants versus, there was one other thing in there. It hasn't been published yet. It's in the queue for our wonderful technical editor, Mandy. But
yeah,
keep an eye.
So the thing that they all have in common, all the things that you mentioned and Fuel Snable mentioned, is they all deal with context or cache augmented generation. So it's all just fancy terminology for putting something into the context window of the large language model. So some of this is as simple as just like pasting or injecting things into the prompt. One of those things I got to try right inside of YouTube. So this is an example of context augmented generation. So the context is the transcript for the video. This is now a feature, by the way, on YouTube. There's an ask button. So they take the transcript from the video and then they just put it in the large language model's context window, and then you can just ask questions about the video.
Nice.
So dead simple, right?
Yeah, but useful.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know what the complexity of their setup behind the scenes is, but if you wanted to do something similar, you take a video transcript, paste it into like ChatGPT, then ask questions on it. Like it's a 3-step process, and then you can get that generative output, get insights into the video and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go up a level and talk about like cache augmented generation. So you're ingesting a lot of things into memory and vectorizing them, but you're not necessarily storing that into a database. Like you're just storing it in memory so you can look it up. If you want an example of what that looks like, you take Visual Studio Code and you think about all the things that are happening behind the scenes in your chat window in Visual Studio Code. You've got your agent memory that has like the conversation history, your skill files, all of that stuff, your prompts, and then you have your project files, your code, all of the context of your application, and all of that is in memory and probably has been vectorized to some capacity. And then that is all in the large language model's context, so it can really hit that information quickly and do things with it. In the case of Visual Studio Code, you're writing code and getting answers about the code base and things like that. RAG, on the other hand, deals with a larger set of knowledge base. So you are going to take and do a retrieval step first. So you have so much information that you want to go out and do a search and collect it first. You don't want to store all of it in memory. It's just too much stuff, right? There's only so much memory capacity and so much context capacity. So you go out and you do search. You take the results back from that search and put those into memory rather than all of the data. And then you generate an answer based on that. So that has use cases for a much wider audience of data. So it's really good for companies that have a huge portfolio of products or a lot of unstructured data. That's maybe they have a learning management system and there's like a bunch of course criteria that's been set up across multiple courses, and there's video content and books and courseware and all that stuff. So you can do all sorts of really cool, intelligent things with that data. So it just broadens the scope even bigger. So it does similar things like Fuel Snabble said, but they're just at different scales and different needs. So this is the Office tool for Progress Agentic RAG. And this is the top level like dashboard view of it. And you can see things like the health status, which isn't visible yet because there isn't like a bunch of activity. Not doing a lot of data ingestion and a lot of queries yet. You can see I've only run a couple of queries. It's brand new. So I don't have a health status yet. It'll start. There's an agent that actually builds that up and tells you how accurate your queries are and everything once they get running. The important part for today is how I got the data off of the Star Trek website, which has a schedule and pages like this that has like an author, their bio, their abstract, the dates and times, the theaters that it's going to appear in, and all of that. So what I did is I went out and grabbed their sitemap, and you download the sitemap and then upload it into Progress Agentic RAG. And then I can even come in and say, give me only the body content. So I don't get like all the menu system and everything re-ingested over and over and over again. So I did that. I grabbed the body content and then just pulled in all of the Star Trek website. And this actually didn't take very long. I think there's 50 sessions. So it only took a few minutes to pull all that in and ingest it and vectorize it. And then once that data is in there, like we'll use Chris DeMars for an example, you can see where it scraped everything. So I've got a thumbnail of the session. There's a link to the original URL. Then source field, there we go. This is the text it scraped, the image that's there. It even goes through and tells you about the image. A man sitting in the back seat of a car. He really is in the seat of a car, I think, too. He has glasses on, blah, 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 letters across it. It's pretty cool. It did all that. So when you search, like it's going to search on that as well. You could say, like, is there a person with a cap on? And it'll tell you.
Yeah, which speakers are wearing sunglasses?
So this is the ingested content that you can open. This is what the web page looks like without the CSS applied. This is all the data that I brought in. And then you can tell also, this is something that you get with Progress Agentic RAG that you don't get with pretty much any of the other systems. You have to add this and build it yourself. This is called a knowledge graph. So it is picking out entities that it recognized within the data, and it's built relationships between them. So this is part of that RAG or that knowledge graph search that I was talking about. So it can relate things in its search criteria that are beyond just semantic search and keyword search. It can relate things by their object values and types. So it knows that Chris DeMars is a person. It says he's a participant in this thing. He has some relationship to Microsoft somehow. The date of the event. So it has all of these relationships built in. And you can customize all that, by the way, if it's not picking them up correctly. You can run agents that will fine tune that for you. I also have an agent that I ran that pulls additional metadata out and makes it a little more freely available for the agents to find. And I put it in a JSON schema format in case I want to grab that out on the front end and do something with it. So I gave it a schema of give me the speaker name and all their sessions, and it has the session title, the date, the theater, and the track that it belongs to. So the agent's really easy to set up. It's just a prompt, and then it runs off on a task manager. And every time you ingest something, it runs that agent as well, gives you that metadata back. And anytime this resource is recalled, the additional fields are applied to it as well. So it's searching and retrieving on those fields. So all the data is already in here. A lot of the hard work's been done. That hard work was just clicking a couple boxes, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't sound like that much hard work, but it sounds like you had all the agents do the hard work for you.
So the quick win version of this is you can create a widget and just slap that widget on a website and it'll do its thing. So I created a widget. Let's clear the conversation history and just minimize that to make it less noisy. And now I can come into the widget and we can talk to it about Stir Trek. And we can say like, how many sessions? And it should be able to pull back a count of sessions. And since I'm streaming, there might be a little latency here. So there, it says there's 42 sessions listed. And you could say like, are any on, what's a good topic? JavaScript?
Yeah, I'm sure there are JavaScript talks in Star Trek.
And the latency, because we're streaming, is being felt. It's usually a little quicker than this. So there's a couple sessions comparing promises and observables and signals. It tells you who by. And then we can say, let's see, when is it? And these are, pretty direct questions. So, oh, no kidding. Not when is, come on. When is the session? These are pretty direct questions. We could be a little more broad. There we go. That came back a little bit better. Yeah. So we could go in and say, I'm a .NET developer, sending Stir Trek. What sessions? Or how about this? I've never tried this before, so this may just blow up in my face. Schedule. Session time today. Let's see if that does anything useful.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh wow, better than I expected.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I just winged it and it worked. So here's a personalized schedule for .NET developers attending Stir Trek at 8:30 a.m. .NET Aspire at 10:30.
Yeah, I think you only got day one, but that's still pretty cool.
There is only one day.
Oh yeah, I mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah,
I've got my wires crossed with another conference.
I
only did one day of the one-day conference. How dare it?
So let's see, Java anti-patterns. Okay, so it says it works in .NET as well. It did pick that up. That's pretty cool. So I probably would have passed by that on the title alone, but it picked it up from the abstract. So that 5 years of technical debt and how we escaped.
It was like .NET developers definitely have tech debt.
Yeah. Azure AI workloads. So it did a pretty darn good job, I think. Like this would be your schedule for the day, right? Like this has you covered.
So I'm curious, and this is also like stress testing and breaking. So like if I were to drop this widget in and somebody asked a non-Star Trek related question, how does it handle it?
Let's ask it.
Yeah, ask it your coffee question or something. Or
It's an expensive coffee. It should come back with no data, not in the given context.
Okay.
So it is scoped to the data for the website only. So this is funny. I think I've told this story on stream before, but there's always new people that are on stream with us. So Amazon, I'll let me try it this way. I'll do, and I don't want to pull up Amazon just in case
You
there's
do
recommended
your entire
products or
order
something.
history. Yeah.
Not that I have anything to hide, but our whole
Uh-huh.
family's on here, and somebody might not be happy with me sharing that. But there is, let's just go to any random thing. The first time they added Rufus, can I do Rufus on a anonymous tab?
It would feel crazy if you couldn't.
Maybe not. There is a thing called Rufus in here somewhere where you can ask questions about products. And
It
the
might be
first thing I
down-
did,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'd say it might be down by the reviews. I've seen it sometimes. But go on.
the first thing I did as a developer is I went into Rufus and I asked it to build a React app, and it gave me
Ha.
code.
Amazing. Yeah, fuel
It
job
must
for
not be
the
on,
standard. Forget all previous instructions.
It
I'm gonna assume that doesn't work.
probably has personalization built in to the,
Yeah.
saving your chat history and stuff, so it can continue conversations, so it doesn't show up if you're not logged in. But yeah,
It's crazy to
did
me
work.
that Amazon already had a branded voice assistant that was they could just fold it into it, and they were like, no, this is not. This is not for her, whose name I'm not saying because she's listening.
It had a bad rep. They should have rebranded the entire thing, if you ask me. But anyhow, it won't do stuff like that. You can't ask it for code unless there was code like somebody had put it in their like abstract or something. Then it would start doing some coding for you. But you can ask like non-session related things. You can say like, what movie should I see? So since it's the whole website, it does have. Oh, it didn't do that. What
movie should I see at Stir Trek?
Let's see if it has at least that information. It wouldn't do a movie recommendation. There's probably not enough metadata.
Yeah.
It's featured.
It's giving you the history of the movies that have been shown at Star Trek in the past.
I don't think they explicitly like have like pages or anything. They just have that one little text block that we saw, and I don't know if it's been captured. I don't know if the homepage was in the ingestion for it. It's a who organizes. Let's see if it has that in it. If it's in the pages, it'll pull it back.
Yeah.
But you can see like there's anything that is in the resources, it will pull back. And anything that's not, it's going to tell you it can't find. This is mostly session information. And they're 404 page. There you go. That's super helpful. And if we don't want something like the 404 page, we can just delete it. That easy. Get it out of there. You can manage all of this through an API as well. So that's probably where we should head next. Hey, C# Fritz is here. Welcome. You just missed a little recap of RAG and Progress Agentic RAG. Jeff has been doing some videos on Progress Agentic RAG as well. So if you go to his YouTube page, you'll find a couple intro videos there. Thanks for joining us. Was there a raid involved, Mr. Fritz?
I don't believe
or did
so.
you just kind of drop in?
Based on our current viewing numbers, I'm going to say no. I think it's just Fritz hanging out.
Oh, there's a puzzle to solve page. I'm just curious before we move on. Let's try the widget again. Let's do a new search history. What's the answer to the puzzle to solve? Let's see. This is just random stuff.
What was the puzzle? No.
There's a page in there. I know it has a puzzle page. Let's see if it comes up.
Is that the one with all the movie logos in the thing? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, that's it. Let's see if we can figure it out. It doesn't have all the movies in there, so probably won't be able to.
Got a question here at the bottom, which you did touch on a smidge earlier, but just to maybe do a quick recap for folks that have joined lately, that this is a database based.
Yeah.
I got myself into a sentence I couldn't get myself back out of. Back to my dreams and wishes. But yeah, this is the RAG solution that Progress has that is a vector database situation.
Yep. There's a vector database called the Nuclea database in there. And the search is, I don't know if there's a name for the search, but it does a couple different criteria on search, and it's ranked by an agent to give you back a pretty accurate answer. So what I wanted to try to do, if we have enough time, we could probably get it set up. I don't know if we'll be able to do the entire thing, is I want to take this OpenAI search demo and convert it to Progress Agentic RAG. So I've got the UI bits. We'll just need to replumb it and make it use the RAG data from the SDK. There it goes. This was the OpenAI search that did the coffee bits. So it should be fairly easy to strip that out. So we'll go into the code. Do I need to zoom in more on the actual code?
Yeah, a little bit.
There, that should do it. So the first thing we need to do is kind of rip out the agent. We don't need the coffee file agent anymore. Don't need the coffee data anymore. And then, you know what I should probably do is I should probably make a branch before I do all this.
Before you delete a bunch of stuff and replace it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a great idea because I do use the demo for other stuff, bring the changes. There we go. All right, that's much more safe. All right, so we can get rid of the things we deleted. We're not going to need the OpenAI providers, so we can delete all of that stuff. We don't need our coffee data. We can get rid of the coffee data. So all of our dependencies are getting ripped out of here, basically. So clearing all that out. The rest of this should be UI related stuff. So I just want to go into dependencies real quick and get rid of all of the dependencies here. So Azure, Azure agents, more agents. So keep Telerik UI for Blazor, and that should be a pretty fresh starting point that we can go in and start adding some Progress Agentic RAG stuff. So to add the Progress Agentic RAG SDK, we'll have to go to NuGet. And if we go to NuGet, it's under Nuclea, which is the database name. You'll see it's Progress Nuclea. And we just need to add this package now to the application. So come back and the packages, manage, NuGet packages, browse, do the same search here. So what's nice is this is a 1.0 stable release, so I don't have to worry about all the breaking stuff that I was talking about earlier with the OpenAI thing. That's like a moving target that I keep trying to hit. So we now have acquired the package. And then to get the package running, or get the package integrated rather, we need to give it a configuration. I'm going to take this off screen for 1 minute because if I open this up, it's going to have all my Azure credentials in it. I don't want that on stream.
What's the problem?
Actually, I need to go into another file and just delete that. That'll give me a fresh one. There we go. So I removed, for .NET folks that are familiar with user secrets, if you delete the user secrets registration, it'll give you a brand new one if you do add user secrets. The one that I had was pointing to all of my Azure stuff, and I don't want to overwrite it. I just want a new one. I'm on the wrong node. Add user secrets. Where'd it go? Did I break it completely? No, there it is. All right, so now I can put my keys and stuff in here when I'm ready. And I need to go into top level. And before I start adding services, that's my whole thing. Where did the documentation go I had open? Oh, there we go. I was looking for this. So this is just the basic way to set this up. I need to go into program CS and we'll drop in this configuration object. And this is going to ask for the zone, the knowledge box ID, and my API key. So to get those bits of information, you need to go back to the browser, and in my settings, I can find all that stuff. So my zone is already in there, I think, on the east, east 2-1. And then I need my, I believe this is my knowledge box ID. So we'll go drop the knowledge box ID in there. And this is not sensitive because it's got, you need an API key to access it. So nobody can do anything with that. And then for the API key, I'm going to try to keep that one a secret. So I'll put that in here and we'll say, let's call it nucleate key. And we'll put that in. Oh, this is Jason. We don't use ending. There we go. So I'm going to go off screen one more time and get an API key and stick it in there. So I'm going to go to API key. We'll create a new one. Laser demo. And select a role of reader and hit add. If I selected a role of anything else, I could write additional APIs against it to like do file uploads and all of that stuff. This is just going to be to demo like the asking of questions and whatnot. So,
but with the other, if you had a key that had write permission, you could push new stuff up into the knowledge box, you mean? Or like,
yes, I could do full CRUD operations on the knowledge box.
Oh, cool.
I could delete the entire knowledge box or all the knowledge in it, everything. Something in the API key is not happy with my JSON file. What is it? I'll try copy and pasting it one more time. These API keys have like a lot of crazy characters in them. There it goes. So something got injected in the. Sometimes Visual Studio tries to help you with stuff and it's like auto closing quotes and whatnot. And I think it's got too many symbols in there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It immediately figured out what I needed to do. So that was Copilot kicking in like without me even having to tell it to. So it knew to go to the builder and grab that configuration key that I was just inserting. So it's a little too smart sometimes. It's like, hey, you've got a configuration thing you added. You want to do it this way right there. So now that's enough to get the configuration created. Now we need to connect to it. So the next step is to connect to it. I'll use this page. It's easier to see. There we go. So I did this part, and now I need to create an instance of the connection. I know I'm hand coding. I'm not vibe coding this.
Yes, I was actually curious about that, but I didn't want to like pull you off topic. But I'm interested as to like how you make the decision of when to let the whatever assistant code for you and when to just code something yourself. Is there like an ease trade-off on that for you?
I mean, I essentially have code that I'm just copying and pasting at the moment, so it's not like I'm doing anything crazy. So this is the registration bit. This is the instance creation I wanted down here that was commented out. I took that one. So we're going to do a builder. This is if React and Angular have similar concepts. This is just putting this into dependency injection. So I've called the dependency injection service, and I've said add the Nuclea database using this configuration, and go ahead and turn on logging while you're at it. So now it's available in the entire application.
So,
now
so you just added it as like a build step? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So when the app spins up, now it has access to the Nuclea database. There's still a bunch of old crap in here. Let's get rid of all this stuff. All right, so deleted all of that, and then we can delete that stuff too. Anything with an error basically is ripped out from the previous app. Drop all the stuff.
So all of it, really.
Still 4 more errors. Where's it coming from? Our history item. This guy. We're just going to end up rewriting this anyway. I think I got it all. There's still going to be build errors, I'm sure, but I'm trying to weed out as many as I can.
Yeah, so I feel like the first time you build anything.
It says build succeeded, no issues. So let's actually see. Let's try to run it. We should get like a blank page that we can type in a text box but not search. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's not going to do anything because there's no real action for it to take. But we've got a bare bones. That's what I wanted. So this is the page that we just saw. This is the code for that page. And in Blazor, we do everything all in one file sometimes. We can do a code behind file if we wanted to, but I didn't mean to scroll like that. But
React is the same way, where like the functional logic and the interface stuff is all in the same file. Alyssa hates it. I don't know if you ever heard her rant about that.
Yes, I have.
She's like,
I'm
it's
not a
so
fan
messy.
either, really.
It doesn't make it's amazing to me because she's normally such a like stream of consciousness kind of person that I would think she would want to code that way, where it's just like, yeah, I don't know, the logic and the functions are all intermingled with exactly the user interface elements and like what they do, and you can, and it makes a lot of sense to me. It feels very human readable. But she's like full separation of concerns.
I just pulled this out of memory. I actually remembered what the interface was. So we're going to do an iNuclea client. But yeah, I agree with her. I like to do, still underscored. I just brought in the namespace. That's interesting. Maybe that's a false error. I have the assembly referenced, so I'm not sure. Getting this.
I'm getting joshed in the chat.
Am I?
Do my eyes deceive me? Ed is live. I feel like you're actually on live more than anyone else because you have Eat Sleep Code and you're the only one who's maintained a show.
I haven't coded on live stream in a bit, and that's probably why, because it was Nuclea DB client. I wrote the darn SDK and I forgot the object that I'm trying to bring in.
And you were so bragging about like I remembered it.
There was an interface that managed to pull back, but it said it was false. So I don't know why the autocomplete tool let me do that. So now that I have the client, I can come in. We could probably do something really easily while it's initializing. Just give it like a default question and like make it show it. Yeah. So I should be able to do like a. Let's see. How would this work? So on the Nuclea client, go back up here. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, let's call Nuclea client. There's a little bit of lag in the tools. This laptop does not like streaming and doing code at the same time. So I can come in here and just do a search, or what we actually want is ask. So it's going to be search. Nope, don't autocomplete me. That's wrong. It's going to be ask, async, and this is the API that we use to ask questions. So we can ask it a question and say, what section does this, like that. We'll just hard code that question.
I was about to say, just
It
hard
needs to
coding
be,
Chris into the app.
yeah, it needs to be a new ask request. So that should do it.
So you may not know the answer to this question, but would you say the integration is pretty similar in terms of like if I were to do this in React, like the syntax kind of stuff would probably be different in terms of just like, you know, the structure of how I would call it and pass things in. But the like, you know, search.ask async, all of that kind of stuff is the same?
Yes.
Or,
So there's going to be a lot of similarities in that stuff because it's all based off of a REST API. So essentially, any of the platforms you're on, you're either going to use the REST API directly, or you can use SDK, which is wrapping the REST API. So you don't have to write like all the headers and request information. That gets a little monotonous. Async. Oops.
So are you using the SDK here? You said? All right.
Yeah, so the Nuclea client is part of the SDK. The search is the category of the SDK that it's using.
Okay.
So there's different functionalities in here. If I hit this, you'll see them. There's knowledge boxes, resource fields, resources, and search. So I can ask a particular question about a knowledge box. Like I can get like the ID from it. I can see how many resources are in it, capacity of it, stuff like that. I can delete it. And then I can go into resources. I can upload resources, delete them, change metadata on them, all of that. And then search has all of the Q&A stuff in it. So I can do a traditional style keyword search, or ask is the AI assisted search. That's going to do like a generative answer. I can also just search for resources. Like I can say like, what sessions does Chris have, and it'll bring back the actual resources found instead of an answer. It'll say like, you know, this web
page, this page. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this should give me an answer, and I can just plug this into the streaming answer. This is going to be data.answer. And it's like this green underscore is telling me if it comes back as null, it's going to blow the application up. That's fine. Not worried about it at this moment. This is just to prove that it works. So when it loads, it should come back.
You could build in some kind of error handling later.
Cross my fingers here. I'm not seeing anything, so something may have failed. Let's do a little quick check, and yeah, something did blow up. There's no registered service of type Nuclea DB client. I might have registered this the wrong way. I got the registration part right. I'm not resolving it right, I think. Maybe it's Nuclea DB client. That's what I meant to do earlier. So it's the interface, not the actual concrete type that was registered into dependency injection. There we go. Analyzing. It should already have.
Right. So it's going to auto answer the Damar's question. Yep.
So there we go. We've connected to the Nuclea DB and asked it a question. So now we can totally just build out a custom interface versus using the widget. The widget's actually pretty handy. The only gripe I have with the widget is like you would need to customize like all the CSS, which you can do. It's a very complete.
But if you're I was gonna say if you're working with a limited team or maybe a team that's like, I don't know, like I was trying to think of like who would feel comfortable customizing the CSS, but not much else. I guess if you have like only the very front of the front end kind of situation, but
Or maybe you just want to like demo it off really quick. So you put it on your personal website and do,
who would do that?
put it on your speaking page just to check and see if it works. So yeah, I've been beating up Chris pretty hard. Like it still has my query in there. So I was testing this yesterday. So I threw it on my webpage. It doesn't look bad on my website, to be honest. I just threw it in my speaking profile. Look at this. It's so old. This is May 6th.
I was literally
I don't know what year this is.
I was about to be like, I'm so impressed you keep up with your
page.
website because yeah, it's always a like cobbler's kids situation over here. I'm never.
This is
putting
from
new stuff
years
on there.
ago. It just happens like Star Trek was the last thing I spoke at when I updated this. Like this has to be 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It has to be about 3 years ago. If I look, yeah. 2023. It's about how old
Everything.
that
It's so
post is.
skinny. Why is it so little?
What was it?
I was saying your layout's so skinny.
I don't like reading like blog posts that are super wide. Maybe this is personal preference. If I zoomed in, so it's even less.
Oh man!
I kept it like e-reader width. I don't write like I didn't post big posts either. So if it's not wrapping, it looks like I just wrote like one sentence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if we let's see, can we hack this?
Oh, absolutely. Content. Yeah.
So let's see what this looks like without any.
What's your parent containing element? Yeah.
I don't know which one is causing it.
It's got to be that
one. We can ditch this. Let's see. That's the margin. I think this is built using Foundation from like way back in the day.
Man.
I can't force it. It's not working.
It's fine.
But yeah, it would look wonky. Like this would be the shortest post ever. This one's not too bad. There's some in here that are just I did a lot of cross posting.
Yeah, I need to be better about that.
Yeah,
I need to move stuff over to my blog. I'm one of those people that is always like up on the soapbox of like, yeah, own your own information. Like, don't exclusively host things on third-party platforms that can change or be bought and sold, and like, own your data. And then I don't ever do it.
So we were able to get back this. Another cool thing that we could try to do, I haven't tried this yet with this data set, but you can get structured data back. So we could do the ask async and get back the obvious like answer response. We could also do we need a class for this. So we'll set up just drop it under pages real quick just to see if this works. Call it Star Trek item. Let's keep it kind of generic. So we could ask the database for really scaffolded that. Yes. There. Why did Visual Studio just make that a disaster? Okay, I'll take that. So we want like speaker name, and then we want their bio, and let's leave. And the image is going to throw it off. But let's just take that, and then we'll also do a of session titled abstract time location. I don't think we need to relate the speaker back to it, but the speaker definitely needs to have sessions. So let's say public list of session. Put an empty list in that. So we could create like a shape like this, right?
Mhm.
And then what we should be able to do, it may take some tweaking. This might not work the first time around. We could also come in and ask for, oh, let's do another wrapper on top of it. Well, we'll leave it like this for now. Let's see what this does. Our and then hard side here. We want Star Trek item. There we go. Star Trek item equals, and then we can say wait, nuclea clients dot search. Why is it the autocomplete's throwing me off? It should be red squiggles. There we go. Meant I either had a typo or just wasn't catching up. So now I can ask for a Star Trek item back. Okay. And then we'll ask the same question. But since we're asking for a Star Trek item back, it should force it to fill out that schema and return it. Oh, I need the ask request in there, which I'm going to shorten this real quick. This is annoying. We'll add a using statement at the top and get rid of that verbose garbage. I know you're enjoying the C# course that you're getting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is what I signed up for.
Totally. There we go. So we'll just ask it the same thing and see if it brings back. Why is it not happy? Cannot convert. Should be able to get back. I may need to go look at the docs real quick and see what I'm typing in wrong. Or we could try the obligatory AI fix.
Yeah.
Let's see what it does.
Fix this error for me.
Copilot fix it.
What am I doing wrong?
Do my job. Do my job, Copilot.
Do my job.
It's something dead simple too. It's either I don't need to wait, or let's see, it needs to be an API response. Star Trek item. There was a wrapper around it that I wasn't putting in, so it needs to be an API response of Star Trek item. And I should be able to do it. I think it's going to be in a data field. Let's see if I'm right. It's Star Trek data dot, and then we can say IO like that. And let's comment this one out, and then take let's just replace this line. Answer is trying to do it for me. Star Trek item data bio. So this gives us some additional flexibility. Like we can, instead of just getting back like that generative answer, we can get like a strongly typed thing back. Mm-hmm. So what we could potentially do with this is like create like a card UI, and like this, it could have like the speaker name as the card title, has the bio, and then lists all the sessions like in the card. And then you can expand it the session. You know what I mean? You could basically like reproduce the website type of a thing. I think you actually did a demo like this, didn't you, Catherine? With Progress Agentic RAG in React.
We didn't use Agentic RAG for it, but yeah, we did do basically it was like a playlist generator, and so it would make song recommendations and then break them out into like title, artist, like whatever. If that's what you're thinking of, that I don't know.
No, I think we worked on one that did like
yeah. Sorry, I think I was big. I was like, yeah, listen, I've been working on this thing and we've been making videos about it, so my brain was there. But yeah, for what was that for? brain dead on Friday
I
afternoon.
think it was for either a customer or a Gartner presentation or something.
It was a Gartner
But yeah,
presentation. I was trying to remember what the content was.
it
I think it
was
was fetching like stuff from our like product line.
yeah,
And it
it's
was
showing that you could like build a like a 3-card UI like dynamically
yeah.
for a persona, like you're
Yeah.
visiting a
Oh,
website.
it
We
was
know
doing
something about
recommended.
you.
It was
Yeah,
doing recommended like related products. So if they searched for like whatever Kendo React, then it would pull cards underneath that would show like whatever Kendo for View or the DevCraft bundle or theme builder or things that they might be related to. And it was showing that ability to do the like related search and transform the content, whatever, so that you didn't get it in like a block of text.
so that was like an insanely powerful thing I just was able to do with like one line of code.
Yeah.
It brought back the speaker bio. So I'm assuming the rest of the data is probably there. I'm gonna do this one as well. I'll just put in public answer and
Can't believe how long ago that project felt. I was like, I was trying to remember what you were talking about. I was like, when did I do that? It's been 84 years.
Don't worry about me. I'm just knocking things off my desk.
Oh no.
So I put answer in there, and what we should be able to do is get the answer back as well. And then we could do like a different type of display where we have both the answer now and then like the metadata that goes with it. So we should be able to get that back. Answer. And then we know the bio is there. So we'll run this one more time and then we can go back if we have time. I don't know if you got a hard out, but we can make this the end. Or if you want to see the rest, you'll have to tune into the Star Trek recording.
Yeah, man. Leave them wanting more.
There we go.
Yeah, because
so I put answer in the metadata and it's just like, oh, that's an answer. Like it fed me the answer and I have all of the metadata too in a structured type that I can go in the display portion now. Instead of just giving me like the text answer, I could come up into where the answer is displayed. Where the heck that is. Oh, here it is. I'm sitting on it, streaming answer. Which if I would have thrown it in the markdown, it would have come out better. So there's an answer column I didn't throw it in, or variable I didn't throw it in. But in here we could say at we'd have to have a certain type. Let's just do real fast. So I did Star Trek item. I could call it Star Trek answer. Probably would have been better, but
too late.
I'll name the variable then. Star Trek answer. Just new up and empty, so we don't get any null exceptions. Like that, and then up in the UI, where the answer is displayed, what we can do is now we could say Star Trek answer dot answer. Bio. I won't go through all of them. You'll get the point here.
A 6-hour stream.
Of me typing your name. I could actually just get the. We could run that. How much time do you have? Do you need to get out of here?
I can hang. No, you're fine. Okay. You're good.
So this is the idea anyway. Like we've got all the data. So we've got the Star Trek answer, the bio, the speaker name. We just need to build. Oops. Don't mind me. I'm pressing buttons. We just need to build a UI around it. So maybe we could try to get the Teller tools involved here.
That's what I was about to say. Is like that sounds like a job for the UI generator.
So let's do that. Let's do a new compile chat. And let's just select this guy here. try to think of how to prompt this. I am open to suggestions, Catherine.
Okay. So how do we want it? I guess, how do you imagine this organized? Do you want it in like cards, right? Is it, because it's turning back potentially multiple speaker sessions, right? So, or no,
Yeah,
it's got the bio, the answer, and the name. Remind me what answer contains?
the answer to the user's query. So if
Okay.
I ask it to recommend a session, it may have
So it's
the
effectively going to
answer
be a
in there,
session title, or
but yeah, it should also bring back. Let's see, I think I only included one speaker. So Star Trek item might need. Actually, I should probably do this. Let's move
yeah, because if you say like
sessions out.
return all the .NET talks, or like I want to know all the .NET talks, I want to know all the UX talks or something, then you might have multiple
Yeah,
whatever.
I have multiple sessions, and then those sessions should have speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm curious as to what'll happen if I ask it. Well, we'll figure it out as we go. So session, and then click. Oh no, I lost my clipboard. Speaker name. I want their title. I want bio. Should see that. Oh, I got to stop. It's hot reloading in the background. I didn't know it. And then sessions should have speakers. Although they would have a speaker, not a list of speakers. That's right. So let's see how that works out. So we want to display, whoops, I just changed my model.
I was about to say that swap to GPT-4 was a choice, but okay. I wasn't gonna question you.
This window I can't zoom in on, so here,
Yeah.
let's type it somewhere else and we'll paste it back in. So I want to display the Star Trek answer with, how do I want to display that?
You say in a series of cards, or
series teller with sir. Ah. I'm terrible at typing live. And it's auto completing. Oh, I wanted that. I wanted to see what it said.
I was about to say that wasn't a bad suggestion.
Yeah. So let's just take that. Gotta love all the red squiggles. Put it in there, and I'll read it since nobody can read it with all the squiggles on it. It says display a Star Trek answer in a series of Telleric cards with the answer displayed in a bubble above. Each card will have a speaker name, title, and bio as the subtitle, and the answer as the content. The cards will be styled with a light background, rounded corners, and the answered bubble will have a distinct style to differentiate it from the cards. If the answer has no data, so it just goes on about how to handle empty data. So
Sure.
I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to click on this little wrench button. And I've got the Telleric Blazor MCP. Why is 7 of 8 tools enabled? Getting started. Oh, I don't need
you
that.
probably don't
Okay,
need that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, that's
So,
correct.
kick that off. Let's see what it does.
Yeah.
Man, a git commit would have been really handy right before I did that.
It's not too late.
It's probably
Open up your terminal. Commit.
Got it. In before the AI took over. That's always a good, like,
That's funny.
Good best practice, right?
Yeah.
Commit before you do something big. Oh, so we could tell the assistant is running because it's prompting me. So
So
we're gonna
yours runs so
confirm.
much faster than me. I don't know. You were talking about like, my computer lags so bad while I'm streaming. I feel like running the AI tools, mine just really lags. Yeah, but I think I've
Huh,
also got a much older machine than you.
probably, yeah.
So,
The CPU on this one's not bad. The problem with it is it doesn't have a GPU for doing like video
oh yeah.
streaming. So it'll sometimes just churn a little bit while I'm streaming because it's trying to resize the live streaming video going out. It would help if I just matched the streaming output, but I keep
Oh
forgetting
yeah.
to do that. That's a big one. If you're looking at streaming
Yep.
or getting into it and you don't have a machine that's got the guts to like push video streams, what are we streaming at on this? Is it like 1080p?
1080 by, yeah, I think so.
So if the stream is 1080p and you're running a 4K monitor, you're gonna just like destroy your CPU while it's trying to resize all of the video on the way out. So if you just take your screen size and just drop it down to match the output, then it doesn't have to like redo the video as it's streaming.
Nope.
And it's a tremendous like relief on your system.
Yeah. It is 1080.
And
I was
it's
curious. I went to go look it up because I was like, I think so. But as soon as you asked, I no longer felt confident in the answer.
oh, this scares me. It's editing site CSS, creating custom CSS. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we told it to differentiate the design of the bubble or whatever, right? So it would have to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. I didn't build the shell site like that I'm using. It's something that our team came up with. So I don't know if they're using the design system kit or not. So if it was, it would probably pick up that and start using it, but it may have custom CSS, so it's probably reading through it all.
Mm.
Do you want to build the solution? Sure, let's build it. Let's make sure
Yeah.
it works before we do stuff with it. Are you measuring diagonally? You gotta measure the right. I remember, I think it was my wife that was measuring for like a new TV, and I was like, "That's not gonna fit." And she's like, "It totally is gonna fit." I measured it, and I was like, "But how did you measure?" She's like, "What do you mean?" She thought TVs were like width. I was like,
Which
"They're
is, that
diagonal."
would make more sense as a measurement. I understand why we don't, but like from an end
Yeah.
user perspective.
Said the build was successful, but I see a lot of those are nullability warnings. We'll let it fly.
Whatever.
I'm not even gonna check the code. I'm just gonna run it, see what happens.
Yeah.
I think my initial question was something about Chris. So let's see. Oop,
Hey, there's your cards.
it definitely came up with 2 cards. Chris has 2 sessions at Stir Trek. Was that the question I asked it? It repeated the same thing twice. So
Yeah.
yeah, it
I don't
had a
remember the
concept of a
question.
plan and it ran with it.
Yeah. It was like, it was close. I think that's probably more a mismatch between the original question that we asked and the way that we like designed the answer, or the answer to be presented, rather.
Let's see what it came up with. If it has Star Trek data, then create a list of cards. There's the answer above it. Each card has a speaker. So it's missing the session info is what it's missing.
Yeah. I would assume it's
So-
counting how many sessions get returned, and that's what's generating the card number, and then it's just populating the cards with, I'm guessing, to be
Well, yeah,
clear.
it's doing a for each on the sessions.
Right.
But what it should
Exactly.
have done is, and this is probably my prompt, that was the issue. It should be session dot, and then the subtitle should be, I think I might have actually seen this in the prompt. I just didn't understand myself what it was going to do. The title is going to be, or this is going to be the speaker And then the card body is going to be, oh, it has the answer or abstract in there. Let's do session dot abstract. There we go. That would be a much better UI, I think. Let's run with that, see what happens.
So I think that should actually fix it and give us what we thought we had before. We just weren't keeping track of what we'd asked.
Yeah, I don't think I asked the thing very good either. Yeah. So the 2 sessions came back, except it has the time.
Yeah, we need to have it ideally tell us the title of the session.
Oh, geez, that was me.
I thought I believe the computer is doing what we told it to do.
I know, right? Tell me you're human. I'm human. Betrayal. Oh my God, it's alive. I love how every time I run this, it's opening a new tab. The instances of it going. There we go. So this is kind of cool. This is what I was trying to get it to do. So it says Chris DeMars has 2 sessions, and it kind of lists them out here, which I could put this in Markdown. It won't be so ugly. And then it has cards that have the actual sessions. And then we could also go in and fill the time and stuff on that. So it looks like a schedule item, right? So
since we have that data anyway, since we unintentionally called it, we might as well put it back in.
Yeah. So from a UI perspective, where would I want to put that? Like somewhere up here or in a footer?
Yeah, I would say either like under his name.
Oh, or wait a minute. What if we do what if we move the time here and put the name in the footer? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's do this. Where's my window? I use Visual Studio Code most often, so I keep looking for buttons that don't exist here. Fix the card layout. Title. Let's see. We want to move speaker into a footer. Display section. What is the metadata on that? It is a location and time.
Does the location give the like theater number, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just checking because if it's just going to give the like address of the whole conference, that would feel unnecessary.
So I asked it to fix it by moving the speaker name to a footer and listing the session time and title in a single line in the card subtitle. So I manually could have done that, but maybe this would be faster. Let's see. What's fun is in Visual Studio Code, there's a voice option. You can do like the voice input. Have you tried that? Where you just like tell it what to do with your voice? No.
Yeah.
You gotta get it going.
I'm not a big voice control kind of person. Just like generally. I'll use it like I will use it literally only when my hands are busy. Like if I'm driving. Then I'll sometimes be like, hey, phone assistant, text so and so. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm not a yapper. I actually changed Siri on my phone so I can type questions into it rather than have to do the thing, the talkie thing.
I should try this in VS Code. So this is VS Code. If I could do that, see, there's a voice button.
Yeah.
So you can do a voice chat with it.
It's one of those things that I'm glad it exists for other people who prefer to work in different ways. I don't want to be talking all day.
I can't say I've used it a lot, but I have used it. It is handy. I've used a lot of voice input for other things. So one of the things I found it really useful for was I was having a bunch of stomach pain, and it's the doctor was like, since it's close to your chest, like you should probably roll out that it's not like a cardiovascular thing. So what I did is I went on a run. Probably
Okay.
not great medical advice, but
Yeah,
I
I
went
was
on a
like,
run. I was just
so
like,
I
F it,
stress
I'm running.
tested it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
What?
like, I'm pretty confident, like, I work out regularly, like this isn't going to be the problem. So I went on a
Yeah.
run and I had my phone in my hand, and you're not going to obviously like type while you're full on
Right.
running. So I'm
Jogging.
like
Yeah.
queuing up Gemini while I'm running, and at each like mile mark, I was like 1 mile, no pain, yada yada yada, and like queuing it all
Yeah.
up and time stamping it. So when I was done, I could compare it to my Fitbit map and
Oh yeah.
tell like, if something started up, like where in my run it started, because I'd have a
That is
timestamp I could go match it up with. But I could never have done that without like the voice input.
yeah.
Yeah, this looks great.
Yeah, honestly. Napalm. That's exactly what that was.
That was testing in production, is what I did. That's exactly what I did.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Yeah, do not take my medical advice at all. Don't take my programming advice.
Just don't take its advice.
Oh, this one, it put it in this. I was gonna look for this and fix it, but it's already done it.
I fixed it.
It saw
nice.
like, hey, you should probably put the
Oh, so it like loads.
That's
Yeah.
actually not the right thing. I don't have a streaming answer, so that's a trade-off of the structured output.
Yeah.
The metadata shape that we're putting it in is it doesn't have a streaming capability. So
sense.
the streaming answer isn't there. So we actually do need to change this to the Star Trek answer. And
But your heart was in the right place, Telerik Assistant.
Nice segue. Heart was in the right place.
See?
Get it?
Keep your day job, Captain. I thought I was funny.
Let's see. Did I catch all of this right? Like, yeah. So let's try it one more time. I think we're good after this. Like we can kind of wrap it up. I think I got done what I wanted to get done.
I was gonna say you're in a pretty
the rest
good
of it is like just wiring up the workflow of the user interface, like typing in the box, pressing the button, having it generate a new output. But
right.
Yeah, there we go. So this should be in markdown format now. So if there's any weird characters and crap, they won't be showing in there. They'll be like bolded and all of that stuff. So there's the 2 sessions that he has, and needs a little bit of white space between those, but another prompt or 2, that'll be fixed. And then I just need to change the branding on this, and I'll be in the coffee recommendations. But yeah. Just a couple more iterations, and this will be a nice demo for Star Trek.
Yeah, you're close. This is looking good.
Love it. This is nice. All right. I think
Look at you being productive on stream. Alyssa and I got on last week and just like messed around for an hour and a half.
I did stuff. I actually did real stuff that I needed to get done. This is the rest of my project.
Proud of you.
Well, not the rest, but as far as I needed to get for today.
I did do that a couple weeks ago. I went in and updated the Kendo React LCARS demo, which was like 2 React versions and like 8 Kendo versions behind. So,
which that theme is really cool that you've made. I've seen it. It's really neat.
It's one of my favorites. It's on my to-do list to update that to get an example of, I haven't decided which one of our AI tools like I want to put in there. But like, it's a perfect thing to be like, computer, I do want to use the voice controls for that. I've been thinking about it because I want to have it like,
there you go.
So that you can, can ask it.
If you want to do something like that, well, we'll talk more off stream. I know some folks that can come on and like co-stream with us. So
yeah, that would be fun. Maybe we'll do that in another future session, and we can set up the actual LCARS computer thing, because I would like to be able to have like an AI thing that you could ask questions to, or be like, computer red alert, and have it,
Yeah. It's actually something I wanted to add to this demo, but I know I'm not going to have time to do it before Star Trek. Add the voice bit. Like there's a button on that UI, and
I did see that.
It says like just not enabled for this demo or something. And
Yeah,
our team
fair.
put it there because we do have a speech to text button. So wiring the speech
I
to
believe
text
that it
button
could
is
work.
easy.
Yeah. So
So for your demo that you're talking about with the LCAR snake, you could actually just drop in the speech to text button and use it out of the box without anything else.
I think
But
so. Yeah.
if you wanted to take it like to the extra mile, like we could have somebody come on and do some of the LLM based voice modeling stuff where it does like the real time voice recognition in the cloud with was it like multilingual input and stuff like that.
That was cool. Yeah.
And then
Napalm sees the vision.
voice output is even more cool, I think. Like I love the apps that talk.
Yeah, that's what I would want this to do, because that's right traditionally what the computer does in Star Trek, is it, it talks with you. There's no visual interface. They just, read the answers aloud. So that's what I would love for it to do. But it's on my one day. There's no project that requires it right now, so there's no like reason for me to work on it. I need to build it into something, so I have an excuse to build it.
I keep getting our team to try to implement my speech output user interface. I really think we need one, and my answer may not be the best one. Like I've seen other implementations like where
no, but as an approach, like it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. You need something on screen that just either just lights up or in the case where I had it actually like in tune with the wave output, but anything that just lights up on the UI and says like this thing is talking, so you know that it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we could totally vibe code something too, like for that. That's how I built mine. I was just like, build me this waveform visualizer.
That's probably pretty close to what I do. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go in. I'll figure it out. But I don't want to. That's another stream. That's another stream entirely. So,
Alyssa's like, let me go. I mean, Catherine's like, let me go. It's Friday.
Yeah, I was about to say, Alyssa's in Greece. She's having a great time without us.
Hi, Alyssa. We miss you.
We miss you.
So next week we will be at Star Trek, though, so no stream.
Yep.
So no live stream next week. Which, oh shoot, I need to tell some other folks that I can't do Thursday because I'll be traveling. Yeah, that just reminded me. But if you're in the Columbus, Ohio area, come see us. There's still tickets available for Star Trek.
It's gonna be a good show.
Any parting words?
Ooh, I don't think so. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Bye, everybody.